Before you buy a motorcycle, there's a few things you need to think about before you go all in and buy it. It's not all hugs and kisses and happy endings. They come after. If you're thinking about embarking on one of life's most epic adventures in owning a motorcycle, firstly, I applaud your decision and welcome you with open arms to a love affair like no other. One that will give you a sense of freedom and belonging within a like-minded community matched with a side of, damn, that's expensive. So let's talk about it. After you subscribe and you like the video that you haven't even watched yet, and turn on the notifications too, because, let's be honest now, FOMO is a very real thing, and you don't want to be that guy. No one does. Seriously, we're not moving until you do. First thing you need to do is research your investment. With so many different styles, makes and models out there, you can't simply just pick one and assume that that's the one for you. The appeal of a fully fared sports bike might not agree with that herniated disc that causes you nightmares and sleepless nights whenever you stand up from sitting in a chair wrong, old boy. Conversely, the cruiser lifestyle probably won't suit a smaller frame human, no matter how much you aspire to be a member of Sam Crow. Doing a little research will pay off in spades. Going into dealerships and just sitting on bikes for a bit. You might think it's strange to do it first, but we've all been there before. Even the seasoned sales guy was in your shoes once upon a time, and if you've not sat on a bike before, ask for help. You don't want to be the reason the shop has to claim the insurance on a row of knocked over bikes. You need to be comfortable on the bike that you buy. There's no point buying a bike you won't want to ride because you feel out of control and you can't balance it properly. Narrow down your list to the bike of your dreams and move on to the next step. Next step on this magical noob journey is to make a shopping list based on your style and your budget. Now double it. Once you've changed the background on your phone to your new bike of choice, it's time to start putting together a shopping list of the absolute no getting out of essentials that you need to acquire before you start riding. These are the must-haves, no excuses. A helmet is your number one purchase, and if you use the philosophy you can't put a price on your head and invest in the highest quality helmet you possibly can afford, top brands like Shoei, Arai, HJC and AGV are going to be your best options. Be sure to try it on before you buy because they're not all made to suit the same uniform shaped head. A high quality jacket, pants and boots are next on your list. The areas that these articles cover are the most impacted parts of the body in an accident, so make sure that you have some quality gear to withstand the nastiness that bitumen has on the unprotected human skin. These can't be underestimated or over-invested in. Once your kit is sorted, then it's onto the big ticket item, the bike. Now, you can afford to be patient here if you can. It's not a virtue I personally possess, but it will pay off if you can. For a couple of really good reasons, and they are, not all riders are seasoned riders. Some people are purely fine weather riders. Waiting until the off-season can actually be a blessing that you can score an absolute bargain if you're patient. Second payout from your patience is waiting to buy a cheaper second-hand bike. Won't hurt your soul so much because you're probably going to drop it. Now your shopping list is done, you've been into every retailer in your city, you've tried on every helmet, jacket and everything else on your list probably 2 or 3 times now. It's time for one of the more exciting and anxious parts in the next step, and that is take a learn to ride course at your local training provider. Now the reason I've put this further down the list and not at the start is if you've never ridden a motorcycle before and you take this before you know how expensive this hobby can be and you find out that this whole exercise is outside your budget, I don't want to be the reason behind the silent, painful snapping of your broken heart. But this step is a must. Don't go buying anything at all before you've done this step. If you've never ridden a motorcycle before, there is no point in any of this if you get to this step and you find out you hate it. It's highly doubtful, but you would have wasted hundreds of dollars for nothing. In saying that, if you already know what bike, how much, then hold on a sec. The first thing you got to do is take a learn to ride course. You already know what bike you want, and so no point wasting time. Get to it. If you're more in love with the idea after the course than you were before, you're ready to book your license test. Depending on where you are in the world, and for that matter what state in that country, will determine what you have to do to obtain your license. My suggestion here is to book in with the same training provider you took your Learn to Ride course with. This will make life so much easier, having a familiar face and someone using the same terminology throughout the whole process. So you've got your license. Now it's time to not listen to every negative Nelly who tells you it's dangerous. Now, yes, riding a motorcycle on the road can be dangerous. Anyone who tells you it's not is just plain old crazy. And they are out there. There are dangers around every corner in life. Making sure that you take the appropriate precautions, gear yourself correctly, go out in the right mindset every time makes all the difference in telling these Nellies to get back in their box. However, here are a few of the things that you must never do if you plan to ride. Never, ever ride under the influence of alcohol or any type of drug. Never ride hungover. I don't know if you've ever tried to get out of your own way just walking after a big night. Don't get on a bike. The injuries you can sustain are a little more severe than a stubbed toe on a coffee table. Never head out after an argument or when you're upset. The psychological effects of these feelings can cause irrational actions. It's rarer than rocking horse shit you get second chances when you make a mistake on a bike. Now, what do you say we lighten the mood after the doom and gloom of that last one? Now comes the fun part. Test ride all the bikes you shortlisted. The dealers don't mind. Going in and test riding the bikes you shortlisted at the earlier point is by far the most exciting part of this process. A lot of private sellers don't really like people test riding their bikes if they're just looking. Dealers are there to help you find the right bike for you. Now, don't be disappointed if your background has to change again after this step. Your future bike will call out to you and it will feel just right. It might not be the first choice, but making sure you are comfortable and confident on it is the key to success. And now, you're ready to buy. Obviously, this process takes a hell of a lot longer than the duration of this video, sometimes running into months, even years, depending on what your wish list looks like. But using this guide as a starting point before you buy will help you make calculated decisions and be as prepared as you can be to enjoy the world of motorcycle riding. So my friends, that wraps up this video. Don't forget on your way out, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the like button because, it helps the momentum up and keep new content being created. Until the next one, we'll see you then.